Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings.
Hi guys, so this is a bit of a random video. It was just something that just kind of popped up. I did mention it on Twitter and then I thought, do you know what, I'm going to put it to you guys and see what you think. You know when Meghan did her Up Girl video, there was a moment in it where she kind of posed like that. And I found it a very odd thing to do when you're filming yourself. Obviously, I'm conscious that I'm filming myself now, and I wouldn't really do that for any particular reason because you're obviously blocking your face. Now, we've known that Meghan has always merched, where that's a lot of the time why I believe she had her hair down, so she could always do that slowly. She'd show the earring, she'd show the ring, she'd show the bracelet, the watch, you know, just she was always, it gave her an opportunity to do that, whereas if she had her hair pinned up, she wouldn't really. And, you know, she often, like with the necklaces, the shirts were always that little bit unbuttoned, so we know that she's really into merching. However, this particular bracelet that she showed off was not a piece from a jewellery designer friend. It was a wedding gift given to her by Trevor, her second husband, and it was given to her and she wore it on her wedding day. Now, I don't give back all the jewellery I've had over the years. I'm not saying that, you know, that you should never wear a piece that someone's given you before. I obviously wouldn't wear, I was engaged many moons ago. I gave that to a charity shop, to be honest with you. I just didn't want it in the house. But it's very, I find it very personal, the fact that it was a gift from her husband on her wedding day to wear on the wedding day. It's a Cartier bracelet and it's called Love. It doesn't say love on it. I got confused before when someone said about it. But it's quite a sentimental piece. That's almost like wearing your wedding ring again. To me, that's how I feel. I just felt that she was deliberately showing it off, or she wanted attention being drawn to it. And it was picked up in the newspapers. Some of the stories said, you know, this was a bracelet given to her by Trevor, and I'm wondering, is this like a message to Trevor that she's thinking about him? Narcissists are known to do a technique called hoovering. I have fallen foul to this myself. I have only learnt what it meant recently, but it's basically where they've discarded you and then they start trying to get you back in their life by various ways and means, text messages, phone calls and whatnot. She's thinking about him like, serial killer. But whether this is, you know, obviously something to do with Trevor at all, I mean, he is incredibly happy at the moment. Him and his wife Tracy Kurland are due to have a baby in September. As I said, it was just a strange piece of jewellery to draw attention to. My other theory was she was annoyed at Harry. Maybe she wanted Harry to buy her a new piece of jewellery and he hasn't. I don't know if I'm reading into it too much, but it is, as I said, it's quite, because she wore it on her wedding day to Trevor and the fact that she showed it off. She's worn it lots of times before, but I felt that she really wanted it to be picked up on camera. This is also beginning to make me think with cracks appearing in Harry and Meghan's relationship. When you see them, the few times that you've seen them, gone are the kind of gooey, doe-eyed looks to each other, the holding hands, the hanging off each other. And I'm wondering if cracks really are beginning to appear. Narcissists can spend weeks, months, years even, making you believe that they are your absolute soulmate. But once they sense that you have flaws, that you're actually just, you know, a human being, they begin to struggle to see the use of you anymore. And I think that maybe some of Harry's usefulness is beginning to run out because of everything that's happened. Harry is no longer popular like he was. He doesn't have a job. They haven't bought a house together. He doesn't have the sort of money to buy a mega mansion like what they're living in. I know that they get money off of Charles, but I think most of that's probably going on their extortionate security bill. In the latest video of them when they've been together, they don't seem to have that loved up kind of presence together. Even in the last one, she's kind of, as I said before, edging him out of the way so she could take centre focus. Whereas before she'd be looking at him, not blinking or blinking furiously. You know, as I said before, it's kind of really scary. You imagine trying to talk to someone. It's like me sitting here talking to you and I have someone there just going, it's just weird, isn't it? It's weird behaviour. Now with the bracelet thingy, narcissists are very much known for, they like to cause jealousy. It's definitely one of their traits, especially the type of narcissist that Meghan seems to be. Now, I can say this because I've heard from lots of people that are actual psychologists, mental health nurses that work in this field. So I do actually take their judgment on this. And I forgive me for pronouncing it wrong, but it's grandiose. If you just notice the camera angle has changed, I've just literally had to try and go to Google to how to pronounce this word. But a grandiose narcissist, so she has a high sense of entitlement, which we obviously know. She definitely has a god complex, that's for sure. And they're also known for being incredibly arrogant. And these are all of the stories that we've heard about Meghan from various people. So she does tick all of the above. They like to play head games. I know this because I dated someone like this a long time ago, and it's all about power and control. They make you feel jealous, they make you feel insecure, and then they love bomb you, and then they'll take it away again. And then you're basically suffering from whiplash because you're like, you want them to be that wonderful person that they were yesterday, but today you can do nothing right and it's all your fault, and it gets to the point where you blame yourself. Everything you're doing is wrong. It's a very, very horrible, I say they call it mind games, but it's not, it's mental manipulation. They learn how to make you feel insecure and needy and dependent on them, and it's actually quite scary. As I said, when I can look back on what that relationship was now that I'm happily married to my husband, I just think, how could I have not seen that? But you don't. I once heard a theory about if you put a frog in hot water, it will hop straight back out, but if you put a frog in cold water and slowly set it to boil, it will sit there till it boils to death. And it's very similar. No, I do not want to hear about anyone doing those experiments at home. Please do not hurt frogs. As for the insecurity and the neediness, we've seen how Harry has changed, so it's quite believable. We've seen him, he follows her around like a little puppy dog. He looks depressed, he looks miserable. He doesn't seem to have any sense of pride in his appearance anymore. He just trudges along behind her, doesn't he? She seems like she's got all the power, and there's Harry just plodding along behind. Now, narcissists don't tend to value people like you and I would. They don't tend to value someone because they make them laugh, because they're lovely, because they make them smile, because they do this. They tend to value people as an object, what they can get out of you. And if you look at Meghan's continuous relationships, she's kind of everything like the social climate. It's what she can get out of you. You are basically an object, which means you are also discardable. The only function that you serve to a narcissist is to fill their needs, their wants. They like that supply. You basically give everything to them. You adore them. You worship them, because narcissists actually believe that they're superior to everyone, that they're clever than everyone, they're smarter than everyone. I mean, I read a book on, I know I've mentioned it before, and I'm not comparing Meghan to Ted Bundy, but there's similar kind of sociopathic traits where he was so believable with his lies because he believed his lies himself. He thought that he was so clever and so smart, and you find that trait in psychopaths, sociopaths. They don't have to be serial killers, but you find that does seem to be a common trait. That's why lawyers are often very, very good, because they absolutely believe everything that they're telling you, and in truth it makes you go, it must be true. I think it's pretty obvious that with Meghan and Harry, the love bombing phase has, it's gone. As I said, you see them out and about. She's not adoring. She talks over him. She almost seems irritated when they talk on joint videos together. I believe that she is at the next stage, which is devaluing. It's a slow and steady manipulation, abuse. They separate you from your friends and your family. It is done over normally a slow period of time. I suppose when I think back to my relationship, it was around about the same sort of time span that Meghan did it to Harry, although we didn't get married, thankfully. But I noticed that I was becoming distant from friends. He didn't like me going out with friends. If I was going out with someone on a Friday night, he'd start arguing with me on the Tuesday, the Wednesday, the Thursday. By the time the Friday came, I was so defeated. I didn't want to go out. I was so miserable. And that's cleverly how, well, I say cleverly, but that's how they do it. It is complete mind melt. You want to make them happy because you want that love bombing back. You want them to be like that. So that's where they've got you then into a corner, because you want to do anything and everything to make them happy. That becomes your purpose, and you don't even realize you're doing it. You'll get rid of your friends, you'll get rid of your family, you'll move to wherever they want to, just because all you care about is making that person happy. It's like a drug. You get hooked, and people people do not realise, unless you've been through it, and it can be from a parent that's a narcissist, a friend that's a narcissist, you don't actually have to be in a romantic or sexual relationship with someone. It happens to lots of people, but the ones that easily judge, they haven't been through it, and they don't realise how easily it can happen. In the early stages of the love bombing, they get you to open up. They get you to tell them your deepest, darkest secrets because you trust this person. They've become your soulmate. You would literally, walk on hot coals for them. But then what they're doing is they're testing the ground, kind of. What they're finding are your weaknesses, the things that upset you the most. And that's how they manipulate you. And this is what I see with Harry. I never heard Harry talk about his mother like he did as soon as he got with Meghan. I never saw him being so angry about it. He had years of therapy. Him, William and Catherine spoke about it quite openly when they did the Heads Together campaign, but Harry wasn't speaking about his mother in such an angry, victimising way. And this is Meghan. I've said it before. What she does, she rips the scab off and she sticks her fingers in there and she twiddles with his brain. And Harry's brain has been well and truly twiddled. At this point, he's become an obedient puppy. Now, this can go one of two ways at this point. You become empty, exhausted, you just do whatever they say, you've got kind of your soul goes, you're defeated, you just do whatever they want. You're basically a lapdog, and this is what I'm seeing of Harry at the moment. Or you can go the other way, which thankfully for me, and due to having some good friends that stuck by me, I suddenly just woke up one day and thought, what am I doing? This person is making me miserable. I can't remember the last time I laughed. So I packed up my stuff and I got my parents to come round and I moved out, and it was the best decision I ever made. But as I said, it's very easy to look back and I just think, my God, how did I put up with that? And this is where I do have hope for Harry. Yes, I do think Harry is a prize prat, really. I think he's been incredibly selfish. He is entitled. He's grown up in a world that none of us can really understand, but his brother could, and I just think, look how William turned out. Harry is also responsible for his actions, but I do think that he has been completely used and he's going to be chewed up and spat out, and I believe those days are coming. Either way, to a narcissist, once you've reached the point that you've either woken up and you've gone, I'm not being treated like this, expired. If you are now just a sad, pathetic puppy dog following them around, it's just a matter of time. Expired, because you've become so weak. You're not giving them what they want because they've taken everything out you. They're an emotional vampire. They are a succubus, and Harry seems to be on that sort of side of it, in my personal opinion. The reasons why I think she's getting ready to give Harry the heave-ho, and I believe that it will be fairly soon, is they've moved to California. She hasn't lived in California for so long, and I find, why would you move to California? They've got brilliant divorce kind of laws out there, haven't they? The 50-50. Although he hasn't bought a house yet. And maybe because Charles and the Queen are going, we're not going to buy a house for you because we can see what's coming. Everyone can see what's coming apart from Harry. The other reason, we're hearing more and more negative stories being leaked about how Harry's miserable, Harry's depressed, Harry can't get a job, Harry, he's so unhappy, he's lost, he's this, that and the other. And these are more and more stories that are coming out about Harry. You only have to look at him to go, yeah, that's a boy that's really lost. But he's not a boy, he's a man. Bogart, the most recent dog story that came up, the reason why that story came up again was Meghan originally said the reason why she left Bogart behind was because he was too old to fly. Bearing in mind he was 6 years old and she took the other guy, Dog. Now the story's been re-released. She left him because he didn't like Harry. So there's all these little stories that are trickling through about how Harry's depressed, Harry can't do this. And it's just building up to Meghan to go, I tried my best with him. It just wasn't working. Harry was sucking the life out of me. Harry was so much hard work. I had to tuck Harry in. I had to give Harry a dummy at night. This is what's going to happen, and she is going to play that victim card. She will be on Oprah's couch. She will be on Ellen's couch, if Ellen ever comes back to TV, that is. I know it's such a silly thing to set this off, the bracelet, but it was just everything she does almost has a reason and a purpose behind it, and it's just been playing on my brain. So as I said, I thought I'd just throw it out to you guys. Again, just tell me what you think on this one. Do you think she just literally just did that and I'm losing my mind? Or do you think there is more to it? Do you think that she's getting ready to discard him? Because there seems to be an awful lot of negative stuff coming out about Harry at the moment. So I'll speak with you guys really soon. Hope you enjoyed the videos, and I will probably see you next week. Take care. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.